No, 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 no! How's it going, Fit Family? Welcome back to Family and Fit. So, as you just seen, made a dramatic entrance on the weight, on the scale. The weight you actually seen was inaccurate. It's because I got some of the vlogging equipment on. I was holding the camera and the camera stuff. The actual weight that I'm weighing in at right now is at 151.6. Weighing in at 151.6. That's with a shirt on, with boxers on. And basketball shorts on. I actually weigh in, if I take my phone out of my pocket and all the stuff that I have in my pocket, I actually am weighing at about 149.6 or so. So just 1 pound less. This is pretty much just going to be an update of like how the diet is going. For those of you who follow the channel, I am doing my summer shred, as most people in the fitness industry are. And my dieting method is a lot different than other people. I like to kind of test my own body and do things differently than other people. Whether it gives me criticism or not, I don't care. I like to take different approaches. That way I can get a different point of view than what other people have experienced. And maybe bring some value to the table that, maybe another method that some people may not suggest but may potentially be a valid method. So I'll go ahead and get into the method. The method that I'm doing is I'm fasting for 4 days or 5, depending on how my 4 days go. So if I do super well Monday through Thursday, I do not fast on Friday, or I do not calorie restrict necessarily on Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, I pretty much have an open door for what I eat. I try to stay right around maintenance. If I go a little bit above, okay. I try to stay under my maintenance, just so I'm in a little bit of a deficit, but I'm not really worried about being on a diet. I also try to intermittent fast a little bit just because it makes it easier to be able to consume more food and not really feel as restricted, because it's just a lot easier to hold off your first meal and then eat later in the day. So I do not suggest that people go as low in the calories that I'm going. I'm hitting as low as 500 calories a day. That is my goal. And to be honest with everybody, I do not hit 500 calories a day most days. I'm looking more in between 750 and 1200 calories. And I use 500 calories as a realistic goal, because sure, I could hit that 500 number. I could set a number like 750 and just hit that number. I could just set 1,000 and hit that number. But I'm honest with myself. I'm an honest human, and not make it. I want to set that goal and know that I'm not going to make it from the get-go. So for example, if I set my calories at 1,000 calories and I try to hit right at 1,000 calories, what will happen is I'll eat as much as I can to hit that 1,000 calories. Because I want to be able to eat as much as possible to touch down on that 1,000. Because you're in a deficit and because you're hungry, you're wanting to eat more, and so you're gonna eat up to your 300 or your 1,000 calories. Whereas when I set a 500 calorie limit or goal, I can eat over that, and I know that I'm going to eat over that, and I hit 750, and then I'm able to throw like a yellow flag, yellow flag, yellow flag. And then once I hit 1,000, I'm like red flag, red flag, red flag. And then if I happen to get to 1,200 on that day, which most days do not actually end up getting that high, I'm like absolutely not. Whereas when it comes to 1,000, it's hard, because if you don't set those preliminary mile markers, you don't get that yellow warning sign. You don't get that orange high warning sign. And after you get those signs, you're like, damn, now I'm eating 1,500 calories and my only goal for today was 1,000. And so, yeah, it just works out better for me. And that's just me being honest with myself. And I suggest that people are honest with themselves as well. Be strict with your diet, but maybe also be stricter with what your diet initially is, what your target initially is. Be stricter with that, knowing that you're probably not going to reach that. Especially for people who have never dieted before, it's really kind of difficult, and especially difficult to stick with and do it day in and day out. So if you set a goal that's lower sometimes, and and you happen to not miss that goal, but you already have the expectation that you're not going to hit that goal, you don't feel as bad about it, and you don't give up. That's the main keynote to take away, is that you don't give up as easily because you don't feel as bad about yourself for not hitting your goal. And that's the main psychological thing that it brings, because it's like, screw it, after you went over your target goal, you just quit. And I know, because I've been there. Getting back into where I'm at with my progression, I'm rolling into my 4th week, so this is Tuesday. I started 3 weeks ago, so at the end of this week it'll be 4 weeks. I started this diet at 156 pounds, which is where I ended my bulk. I was actually floating in anywhere between 156 and like 158. I was actually starting to get some high fluctuations in weight towards the very end. And yeah, so I made significant progress. I think I've literally dropped almost like 6 pounds in about 3 weeks. I haven't really ran the numbers on what I should be losing every week. I just know that I should be seeing a bare minimum of a pound fall off every week. And like I said, I use Saturday and Sundays as refeed days, so I don't really monitor my calories whatsoever on those days. I just try not to, eat a lot. I just try to be more conscious of what I eat. And my calories for the rest of the days when I'm fasting are so low that I pretty much can look at anything and be like, okay, I can only eat that, or I can eat this and one other thing. So it generally ends up being like one little, like, kind of decent meal, and then maybe a snack, and that kind of puts me around like 800 calories maybe. But back to my weights. So it's really been progressing pretty linearly. Anybody who's ever like witnessed like weight loss, no matter what, you'll see a fluctuation. Like, you might see a trend. So check over here at the corner of the screen, and you'll trend down. But you'll see, as you can see my finger, it tracks up and down. So your weights can spike up and down as you reach your lower weights. And that's definitely, it's just something that comes to part of fitness, So don't be discouraged when you see anything like that. Like, there's days that I hit 153 calories. And right now, like, I'm hitting 149, and that's not even like my light morning weight. That's what I'm weighing in like at night after I've eaten, so I fasted all day and then I've eaten a big meal. So now I'm at the fullest point I'll be in the entire day, and I'm lighter than I've been. And part of the reason why I'm trying this method is because it's a very aggressive approach, and I think I took way too long on my cut last time. I probably cut about 2,000 calories. I was consuming 2,000 calories a day, and it took me like 6 months to lose like 10 pounds, and that was just ridiculous. And the problem was I was trying to bulk and cut at the same time. Would I have done it differently? The only thing I would have done differently is I would have tried to maybe cycle on a like more weekly basis of bulking and cutting, instead of necessarily trying to worry about gaining muscle at the same time. Because essentially I was just working out like I was trying to make gains, but then eating like I was trying to lose fat, which is kind of how you're supposed to do it anyway. But I didn't lower my calories enough to really make the progression very, very fast. And I made decent gains through the period of time that I was cutting, but as soon as I quit cutting, though, I exploded in weight. And the whole entire time I was cutting, I was gaining weight. I was gaining lean muscle because I was getting leaner and leaner and gaining muscle. And even in this cut here, like, people say you lose muscle, and I am very early in my fitness journey, so I do have more of a potential to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. I just went over my 1 year, 6 months, which I'll link up in the end of this video. I'll put my transformation video linked up there, and then another one suggested by YouTube. But I definitely took way too long in my cut last time, but I was at that weird fat skinny stage, and I had tried bulking and stuff before, so it was another thing I had to kind of personally do for myself, whereas I had to get to a certain leanness before I'd allow myself to really truly bulk again, because I'd bulked like a couple times in my life for about 6 months, and it turned out just I got fat. And that, a lot of people have done that. I believe they kind of struggled with that issue of getting fat when trying to bulk, because maybe they work out and then maybe they quit working out as much, but they're still eating like they're bulking. And I highly suggest, like, if you haven't lifted in 2 days, you're not bulking no more. Quit fucking eating like you're bulking. Sorry for the language, but yeah, I mean, just quit eating like you're bulking. You know, that easy. Like, after like 48 hours, you're not really making much progress in the gym. As far as muscular growth, you kind of reached your protein synthesis window after 48 hours, and that's a lot. Some what I do with my dieting. I try to hit, like since I use my refeed days at Saturday and Sunday, I try to hit the gym extra hard on Saturdays and Sundays, and like the rest of the week is kind of more of a floater type of workout. And I still hit pretty solid workouts. I utilize, stuff like 5 Hour Energies and maybe like a Red Bull or something like that, just to kind of get me to the next level, to make sure I perform my lifts as well as I can. And also, I'm working out after I'm eating, so I'm having a little bit of carbohydrate energy being able to be utilized there. So yeah, I'm super glad with my progress so far. I'm feeling like my abs are definitely starting to come through. So definitely stay tuned for this 1 year, 7 months. I think it's going to be the most epic of all my transformations. This 1 year, 6 months was kind of weird because half the month was a bulk, half the month was a cut. So the transformation wasn't super drastic, as I mentioned in that video if you watch it. And I just think so. I think this next one, since I'm going to be in a cut this whole entire next month, that it's going to be next level. It's going to be the most drastic transformation I've had, because I've actually gained on some lean muscle mass, and I'm going to be shredded down. I'm probably leaner than I've ever been. I'm almost as lean as I've ever been now, weighing more than I've ever weighed. And that's a great sign. If you're leaner than you've ever been, you weigh more than you've ever weighed, it's a great, great sign that you've packed on some lean muscle mass. I've probably packed on about 25 pounds over the course of this last year and a half, and I've had a decent amount of cutting time. I've been cutting for about 10 months. 10 months of my 1.5 years has been cutting. So yeah, I made significant progress as far as muscle gains. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. I hope that this video helps you with your journey. Hopefully it'll help you with your cuts if you plan on getting into them. If you happen to, follow along with the way that I'm dieting, just kind of do it at your own risk, and know that it's not suggested by most people. It can be dangerous, and it can, cause stuff like eating disorders and whatnot. So just be very, very careful if you're going to go that method. And if you want, just let me play it out and let me see how my journey goes, and see how it turns out for me. See if I lose much muscle mass, and see how quickly I gain it back. That's something I'm really trying to target in this methodology, is that I can cut super, super fast. Like, so most people take 2 months to cut. I'll take 1 month, and then I can have an extra month of bulking. And my prediction is that, because of muscle memory, within that next month, I would be more flush, more pumped back up. My muscles will be more full again, and I'll still be carrying that ripness. So I think that at your leanest, that's not necessarily where you look the best. I think it's after you go back into a bulk for about a month, and you can allow your muscles to fill back up while still maintaining the same leanness. So yeah, super excited for that. Super stoked for the best physique I've ever had. Make sure to follow along with Family and Fit, and let us help integrate this busy life that you have. And if you don't have a busy life, well, let's make it busy and let's get fit.